Hey, Scorpio, Mel, Intuitive Coach here. Excited to bring in your January 2025 monthly reading. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Scorpio, welcome to 2025. Your key themes for the month of January. You have soul purpose, authenticity, and healing. So this is really a big month for you to get honest, get real with yourself about how you're feeling, how you want to feel. Moving into 2025, look at that. You have the Sun card. So I do see you really reflecting on your happiness, your playfulness, your confidence, your vitality. And you're asking some of the bigger questions. What makes me happy? And if you're not happy with certain circumstances, situations, or relationships, I feel like you're doing something about it. Okay? Even health. I feel like you're doing something about it. Yeah, and that could restructure and change your entire reality. You have the Tower showing up here as well with the Strength at the bottom of the deck. So getting real with yourself is going to set you free. I see a sense of recovery. Some of you may have gone through a bit of a health issue, or perhaps you've struggled with your health mentally, physically, emotionally, even spiritually at times. But you've been doing a lot of soul searching. I mean, you have the soul purpose as one of your key themes, Scorpio. That's the calling. That's the awakening. Searching for the meaning here, the meaning of your existence, the meaning of your purpose. And really saying, am I just existing, or am I actually living my life? And I see that if you've been on default mode, if you've been on autopilot, or if it's felt like you've been a robot just walking through life, walking through the motions here, I see that that is something you really are addressing in 2025, and January sets the tone for the year. So you're possibly looking at cutting certain things out of your life. You may be looking at what needs to be healed or mended. And I really see with the authenticity card, and this is so beautiful because this is about you staying true to your path. This is about your unique vision. This is about you feeling more secure and comfortable in your own skin. I also see you getting real. Getting real with yourself, not sugarcoating things, not putting anything under the rug. And it's interesting because your archetype is the king, and you have two kings showing up in your reading. You have the King of Swords. So there's the king of, I'm cutting through BS, right? Getting real with yourself. He's cracking down here, cracking the whip. But at the same time, the King of Cups is saying, I'm going to do so in a compassionate way. The reason why you are kind of cracking that whip is because you love yourself. And I feel like there's going to be some choices that you make in the month of January based on self-love. But it means that you must get honest with yourself. You must make a choice to see, make a new choice to see a new difference in your life, a new outcome. So let's dive in now that we have all your cards out here. Your first card out is Soul Purpose. Scorpio, this is the calling. This is like the Judgment card in tarot, which is actually Scorpio's energy, the Judgment is, and it's about rebirth, self-awareness, second chances. You've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I see that with the Strength card at the bottom of the deck. You've gone through a lot of fears that you've had to face. You've gone through some dark nights is what I feel. And there's a new direction that life wants to open up, right? A new direction to kind of veer in. And I see that you are being divinely guided. You're being divinely guided. Your heart is open here, but it's up to you to use the head and the heart simultaneously alongside each other. Let the heart make the choice and let your head figure out how. So it almost feels like there's a working together of these tools. It's sometimes you hear head over heart or heart over head. I feel like logic is kind of playing out in a big way, and it feels like it's more of self-love, like I need to do this for myself. And if you feel like you got caught up in your emotions, maybe some of you were eating your emotions, or you were, over giving to a person or a situation based on, not wanting to disappoint, not wanting to hurt them, because that's part of the role that you started to fulfill. I feel like you're reining that back in with the King of Swords. You're getting logical and you're saying, wait a second, is this actually beneficial to me? And so you are using the heart based in self-love, but I really like this King of Swords showing up in your energy, because it means that you're not playing any games. Like, it's time to get down to business here. And some of you quite literally get down to business, because there could be some changes in your career sector, financial and material needs. And we'll look at all areas of life: finances, love, health, family. We'll look at it all. So really doing some deep inventory, taking a look at what's working in your life, what isn't. You may be taking a deep financial inventory. Where are your investments paying off? Where's your money, working? What's coming in? What's going out? And you may have been emotionally spending. For some of you, I feel like you may have spent a little bit loosely. Oftentimes, at the end of the year or during the holidays, people tend to put things on credit cards or tend to buy gifts for others out of, love. You want to show that love and that support, but sometimes it's at the expense of, sometimes we can't afford it. And I feel like you're cracking down and saying, okay, I need to get tight with my budget, or I need to get better, a better handle on something that has been a little bit too maybe loosey-goosey. And I feel like there is a restructuring coming in here. Now, because I have the authenticity right between soul purpose and healing, you're getting real, you're getting raw. Interesting verbiage. You're getting raw. So some of you, it feels like raw could also be like vulnerable. You may be getting vulnerable with yourself and being truthful, being honest. Sometimes the truth hurts is what I'm getting here. Okay. Sometimes the truth isn't always what we want to hear, but sometimes that's what's best for us. And if this is another individual, perhaps it's time to get real and raw and honest and authentic. So you have a vision here. Some of you may even be creating a vision board, or, you have a vision for how you want your 2025, or how you want your long-term future to play out. Don't give up on your vision. But I see that you may need to heal some underlying beliefs to help your vision manifest. Okay. Yeah. You may have to heal some underlying beliefs, which we'll take a look at. We'll explore more of some of those beliefs. And I see that your confidence, there's something about returning to a sense of self-confidence, or returning to a sense of self for that matter. And you may have felt like you were just thrown into the mix of things, thrown into something. I see that with the Five of Swords showing up. I don't love the Five of Swords. I talk about this often because it's a battle of the egos. It's a he said, she said, my way is better than your way. It can be manipulation. It can be mental muckery. It's not fun. Battle of the egos is not fun, because it can be victory through dominance, victory through bullying, manipulation, coercion, being unkind. And you see that something the witch said, really left this other witch feeling disheartened. She has her hands in her head. She's very, very much in a disappointing and maybe even very sad or confused manner here. And it's all because this individual wanted their way. And the other girl is looking back here like, what is happening? There's so many cooks in the kitchen here and this pot is boiling over. But if they would only realize that each one of them carry a unique quality, a unique trait, even the people in your life that really upset you. Even the people, Scorpio, that challenge you to the core. Your higher self knows that they have a unique aspect of themselves. Your higher self loves them. Your higher self is, does not see the egoic or the ego of another. The higher self sees from the perspective of love. And when we don't see from that higher self position, it causes us to be in this turmoil. It causes that pot to boil over. All right. So TED Talk about that. That may be why you're really getting honest with yourself and saying, wait a second, is this coming from an egoic part of myself? Is this some sort of drama that I've been drawn into or attracted to in some way? Because there's a lesson or there's some sort of healing around my own confidence, my own self-worth. Is this a karmic tie that I was meant to go through? And I see you really reevaluating things. Some of you with the Six of Cups, this is a soulmate. You're dealing with a soulmate. Maybe the King of Cups is you, King of Swords is you, or vice versa. I mean, there could be more than one person, and it looks like there is. And I see that the truth is going to win in some way. The truth is going to set you free. Yeah, liberate you. I mean, that's the true winning in itself, is liberation, isn't it? So I feel like there's a lot of healing. Someone hurt you. Someone said something to you. Maybe even the King of Swords, because I feel like this is an archetype. I mean, we all have the archetype of every single king, every single queen, and we have the potential to be that emperor or the empress. And I see here that you may have dealt with someone who may have either been overly emotional. They may have taken something too personally, and it may have hurt their feelings, and maybe you didn't even realize, or perhaps that was you. Maybe someone said something or did something and you took it personally, but it wasn't intended to hurt you. Some of you it was, because the ego was involved here. I also see that there's recovery. There may be closure that is coming in with a soulmate. This could be a child, it could be a parent, a friend, a lover, anyone in your life who you've soul contracted with to be a part of in some way. Okay, but I see emotions attached here, something with emotions. There's a restructuring, a redefining of your reality. You may have even gone through some health issues mentally. I'm getting like mental breakdown for some of you. Oftentimes the Five of Swords, like I said, it's mental muckery, and you may have been very confused. You may have been manipulated or bullied, and that caused you mental stress. Okay, the mind. For others of you, for health, I see that there could be some sort of genetics playing out, or perhaps something that you've had, since you were a child. Maybe this is physical, or it could be anxiety or depression, or something you have struggled with, some inner child wounds that you've been working on, maturing through and healing through, and allowing yourself that self-love piece that we talked about in the beginning. What else do we have for love? Some of you, your vitality has been low. You just haven't had energy. Vitamin D, that big old sun, right? Big old sun energy. Some of you really thrive better with vitamin D, with that sunshine. You can get replicas, you can get that light therapy. You can order something on Amazon or online. You can take some supplements here, or if, best yet, get out in the natural sunlight. Even if for, a little bit, 10 minutes a day, it's very important for you to get some sunshine. But I do see with the sun here, vitality has been depleted. And there is a new health routine that you are incorporating, or you're being guided to incorporate in January. And set the tone, stay consistent, stay on this path, because eating better, sleeping better, staying hydrated, this is also going to give you more momentum, more vitality, and more energy. And that I see was lacking for you, or is currently lacking. Now, mentally, some of you, could really work on stress reduction or anxiety reducing methods such as meditation, writing things down. Journaling is so healing if you are, a journaler, or even talking to someone, talk therapy, talk to a coach, a mentor. But it's important to get something off the mind, say something. And it reminds me of a song that I heard the other day, and I think I titled it, I don't think it was your reading though, but Say Something, I'm Giving Up on You. So it almost feels like it's important to get something out in the open. That may be what needs to be done to clear the air, to get some sort of closure. Now, whether it's speaking directly to a person or just sharing it with someone, sometimes that can be enough to get another perspective, or just to hear yourself say it can really be beneficial. Because I see you wanting to close out, a bit of a cycle in order for you to feel more vibrant, feel more energized. Now, the fact that we have the Tower could be an onset illness, or, something that comes in quick, but I feel like it leaves just as quick. Okay. So just be mindful. This could be like a 24-hour flu bug, or, a bout of like food poisoning, something of that nature. Now it's going to be short lived. It may have already happened for some of you, but you may still be kind of recovering from it, even though it's gone, even though it may be kind of flushed out of the system. I just feel like you're trying to regain your strength here. Now, bottom of the deck, you have letting go, and right behind that, memories. So you're letting go of something of the past. Six of Cups is also nostalgia. So you're saying goodbye. And this is the second card that says closure. There's some sort of closure that is coming in for you in January that's gonna what? Liberate you. There's the liberation. This is about goodbyes. It's about ascension. You have evolved. You're going to take some people into the new year with you, and some others, I feel like you're saying goodbye. All right, goodbye to them. Either goodbye to their memory or goodbye to them physically. Some of you may even be leaving like a home, or moving, relocating. You could be saying goodbye to an old job. I see that there is a positive transformation coming in here with the Sun, but it also is going to require, a brand new restructuring with the Tower. So this is a sudden change for the better that shows up in your life. Some of you could even be reconnecting to someone that you had an argument with, like a family member. If this is someone that you love dearly and you've been wanting to connect with, but they have been bullheaded, and they have been very adamant about not speaking to you, or that what you did was wrong, or whatever it may be, with the King of Cups and the King of Swords kind of going at it. And if there has been some arguments or some drama, I feel like there's an opportunity to really to heal and to get closure on something, and possibly even come together if that's what you are looking for. All right, let's dive into the tarot, which we've been talking about here. But the double kings showing up. For a lot of you, there is someone else you are dealing with. Now, female or male, this is the masculine representation, which we have within us all, even us women. So you are dealing with someone who may be a little more ethical than emotional. Okay, the King of Swords is more of that thought leader, more of the mind versus the heart. And then we have the King, who is more of the heart versus the mind. So I do see here that you are dealing with a situation where maybe someone was a little bit hard on you, or hard, within their belief system, like inflexible, or just very set in their ways. That's what I would say. Very set in their ways. And sometimes these two clash. And sometimes the King of Cups, his heart's in it, but he thinks that, he's being too logical. So they have to kind of find that happy medium. Now, if this is a characteristic of you, which, like I said earlier, we have all of these kings within us, all of the queens within us. It's just, which one do we want to act on? Which one do we want to feed, or, really invest in? And I see that you're bringing a balance here of self-love and self-care to yourself by getting back into some sort of routine. And I feel like I don't want to say tough love, but I'm getting that phrase here, tough love. Like being hard on yourself, but showing yourself compassion at the same time. And you may be sticking to some routine or structure that is a little bit difficult. So it's tough, right? But it's out of love. So I feel like that's what's happening for you, Scorpio. And this could also be towards a child. There may be some sort of tough love towards a child. You may even be healing the inner child from some tough love that was maybe toxic. Okay, there may have been something that, brought the house down here, like the big bad wolf came in and kind of blew the house down. And the Tower tells me that there's a restructuring of a belief system. This is destruction of old structures. Some of you have gone through a near-death experience or a spiritual awakening. I see that here big time with this strong Aries energy. Now, for some of you, this is really going to open up around Aries season, and that is the beginning of the astrological new year. So this happiness, the sun, may really start to peak out, at its fullest around Aries season, March 20th, 21st or so into mid-April. There is something about July here potentially as well. Okay, because the Freudian slips, they're not slips, right? So July energy could be big for some of you. Now, I am seeing with this King of Swords, financially, some of you could be looking at contracts, taxes, legalities. You may be talking to a financial advisor, a real estate broker, a person of the law, someone who gets their answers with their head, someone who's very brilliant. They have, a PhD or they have experience. They are in the library here. There's a million books behind them and they know the law. Like they know what you are asking them. They know, the answers, but they're very book smart, right? They have intelligence here. So I feel like you may be going to someone who knows about something, or you could be going back to school. Perhaps you're learning about some law, some regulations, some restructuring coming in here. Some of you want to go back to school so you can change course is what I'm picking up on. And I feel like if this is, some of you are going back to school for something of the heart, something that you love, okay? It's inspiring you, maybe being of service. Maybe it has to do with medicine or nutrition or psychotherapy, counseling, okay? Something of that nature. Now, I see with the Six of Cups, there is an inner child healing that has taken place, but I also see small acts of kindness. You see that this gardener has these beautiful potted plants everywhere, and he's giving one here to this child. And she's very appreciative. She's very thankful. And I'm also hearing the phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So it feels like there is something quite beautiful. Now, whether you are the student, whether you are the teacher, we oscillate between the two our whole lives. And I see here that, there's a beautiful exchange happening. And it looks like the red is really highlighted here. Red is the root chakra, okay? Root chakra is formed between the ages of 0 and 7. Now, some of you, this is an event that occurred between those ages. For others of you, it could be a childhood dream, or it could be something that, you've always wanted to do since childhood. And I see that there is a beautiful exchange coming in, and you're healing something around that time as well. Maybe some sort of abandonment or rejection. Maybe there was a loss. Perhaps this has to do with a divine masculine or a father. You're really stepping into your action self, because that's what the kings are about. Kings are the action takers. Queens are, the receptors, the receivers. And I see that you've been, possibly in that queen energy in 2024 of receiving the information, like planning and nurturing and really working on building it, bringing it to that fruition stage to hand it over to the king archetype for him to take action on it. And that's what you're doing here. Now, there's been some sort of, again, competition, some sort of possibly advantage being taken here, someone taking advantage, maybe poor sportsmanship. It almost feels like a toddler throwing a tantrum in the middle of a grocery store because they didn't get the Oreo cookies, right? And I see sometimes you just got to let that grown adult throw a tantrum. I mean, maybe it is a child or someone who's younger, more immature with that Six of Cups, because there's a lesson to be learned within the tantrum. There's a lesson to be learned for both of you, for that individual and for you, on how you react to it. Now I see the Tower here. I actually like this Tower. If you look, you see that the witch, she's looking back over her shoulder with a little smirk, and she's holding the wand, which still has a little bit of magic coming out of it. She is the one that pointed her wand at that tower and kind of broke it down. There's something here I feel like you are in charge of. It feels like you're given life a smirk in a way. You're being guided to not take something so seriously, to know that even through destruction, that there is a rebuilding and you can have fun with it. Okay. You can have fun with it. And maybe it feels like someone else, if this isn't you, you know, with the Tower, if it was something out of your control, it may have been that someone was a little bit vindictive here. Yeah, because she's looking back with that smirk like, ha ha, look what I did. So maybe that is the toddler throwing a tantrum in your life. And I just see that maybe an apology is needed. Maybe that shows up. Maybe it never does. But whatever it is, you're getting some sort of closure. You're moving towards, you know, a new year that looks a lot more abundant. The sun is beautiful, and the sun is confidence, vitality, playfulness. It reminds you to have fun. Look at these three women. It looks like third generation here. Maybe this has to do with family dynamics. It may have to do with the sunflowers. And now I'm hearing that song, You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine. So if you have maybe loved ones in spirit, like a grandmother, a mother, and you're the daughter, there's something here about like 3 generations. You are receiving ancestral guidance, okay? Ancestral guidance and restructuring, and maybe even breaking out of old patterns that may have been passed along in the bloodline. All right, let's look at health. What else do we have here for health? Okay, we kind of talked about it. Oh, health with the heart. Pay attention to the heart health, of course. We did talk about that. And then also do your research, but not to the point where you go down the rabbit hole. I don't feel like you're going to. I don't see the Page of Swords here. But I feel like it's important to possibly get a second opinion or do your research as well, okay, when it comes to health. Don't just trust everybody with, you know, open arms, because again, it's like the fad diets that are out there, or someone says, oh, this is good for you, you should try it. But just because it's good for someone else doesn't mean that it's going to be good for you. So trust in yourself. And that's what the King of Swords does, is he does trust in himself. But again, don't be afraid to get a second opinion if need be. All right, let's look at wealth, abundance, money, and career. You have something cautioning you here. There is a cautionary tale, maybe about a caution of your spending habits. It says use caution when making financial decisions. Careful not to overspend on wants instead of needs. Yeah, because some of you are cracking down on your spending after maybe overindulging a bit. More going out than coming in. And that makes sense with what I was picking up on earlier. You have the Hands. There is some sort of maybe financial assistance, or you could be manifesting money, reaching some goals, maybe even getting help, getting a job. If you come to this reading, maybe unemployed, or if you've been restructuring and you've been wanting a new opportunity, I feel like there is sunshine. But because I was getting that Aries energy, even though the sun is Leo, but I am picking up on Aries as well. So Aries season, and I also get July. Maybe that came through earlier, probably because this is Leo. So The astrological new year, maybe when some sort of opportunity is offered, or it's when you really start to feel like you're getting up out of a slump. And by July, I feel like that full on sunshine is really here for you. So trust in the process. You are manifesting more money. You will reach some goals, and there will be assistance here for you. You have the feather card. This is my Aquarian energy. It's all about abundance, easy money, and divine intervention. Some of you are traveling, possibly in the dates or seasons that I mentioned. This is about indecision, maybe air related. There may even be some light work coming in here for you. Some of you are light workers, okay? Light workers. Aquarian season at the end of January. You know, we roll into Aquarius season, and this is going to be a big time of divine intervention. And I see that no matter what shows up, you have the strength. It almost feels like there's something that could happen. Oh, and that makes sense. As I was just getting the message, the peacemaker peeked out. This could be globally. Aquarian season could be a big one, like politically, economically, globally. There may be something that shifts, but you're going to be okay, is what I'm picking up on here. Yeah, divine intervention. You are protected. It says here, politics, negotiations, unions, contracts, or any other peacemaking careers, or there's something about peace, like bringing in peace. Maybe your job is secured, or you are a light worker who is here to spread peace when some stuff hits the fan, okay? There may be diplomacy and tact that is needed when it comes to maybe some sort of difficult situation. And that brings me back to that toddler or a grown adult throwing that tantrum. I feel like maybe that's you applying diplomacy and tact, right? Approach situations with a win-win attitude, especially when making business deals. All right. Finances are looking better. However, they are in the midst of restructuring at this time. Someone that you're dealing with may have taken advantage. They may have bullied, manipulated, coerced, or really kind of downgraded you in some way. And because of their thoughts, their beliefs, the way that they do business may be a little harsh here in some way. But I like that the sun is showing up as part of your outcome, because this is coming up. The sun will come up again here for you. There's just a restructuring happening at this time. All right. Let's look, Scorpio, at love. What do we have for love? Some of you are going through a separation, or you have been separated from an individual. I feel like you're thinking about the past, though, because the Six of Cups says that there's someone missing you, or you're missing someone. There may be a little bit of bitterness over a situation. I talked about that with the Five of Swords. There's some sadness, some sorrow. You may be uncertain about how this looks moving forward, but I do see that there will be conflict resolution in some way, because the cactus, look at the cactus. If you've ever owned a cactus, when it blooms, it's absolutely phenomenal. I remember a while ago, many years ago, I had this amazing cactus, and I had no idea. I mean, I should have known, because I think all cactuses bloom, maybe, I don't know. But all of a sudden, one day, I had this cactus for a while sitting on my desk, and one day it bloomed and this beautiful flower came out of it. And I was like, whoa, I've been sitting here not even realizing that there was such beauty within this that was working on manifesting. And that's what you see on these cacti. Is that the plural for cactuses? Cacti. But you see all of the cactus here, they bloomed. And I see that there is something that's working on blooming for you, and it may take you by surprise. Maybe that's the Tower. It's like, wow, this just showed up and I didn't even expect it. I didn't even know that this was in the works. But that's sometimes how life works. We don't often see what's going on behind the scenes. That's why we're being called to trust. And I see that there's something quite beautiful manifesting for you here in matters of the heart. We do see that you have some options. We have some options for those of you that are in a situationship with someone who's either non-committal, maybe it's part of a third party energy, maybe it was a one night stand that turned into a 5 night stand, but that's all it is just kind of a, mutual benefit thing. Maybe your feelings have grown and theirs hasn't, or vice versa. I see that there could be conflict around that, and there may be a restructuring and a change around that dynamic coming up in Aries season or Leo season. Now, I'm also getting here for those of you that are either looking for love or you're in a good, solid relationship and there's been trouble or conflict either externally outside of the union, or it's just something you've been working on dealing with your own crises that have come in. The blowing kiss card tells me that there is some sort of giving and receiving. That also is the Six of Cups. This is about fairness and love. Some of you have been married for quite some time, or you've been in a relationship for quite some time. There's unconditional love here. I see for some of you, you could have a child. You may have a child that is going through some difficulties or issues in their own life, maybe with their own family, or if they are like going off to college, if there's some changes in school or work. I feel like there's something that is being balanced out here after some sort of hardship or difficulty, because there's unconditional love that you have, and I feel like you're a support system for many. Now, there's going to be something returned to you. Returned, which means maybe it kind of went away for a bit and it comes back. For some of you, if your heart was on lockdown due to King of Swords energy, maybe you were just in that structured dynamic of focusing on business or finances or work or, life over here, not necessarily love. You're in for a surprise, because I feel like there's someone blowing a kiss here coming up, and I really feel like this is a good energy. You're letting go of something or someone of the past, and you're moving forward in happiness and abundance. All right, Scorpio, let's see what the soul wants you to know at this time. How can you be more flexible right now? What are you trying to control? All right, the Tower comes in out of our control sometimes. Maybe it's time to let go. You have that card at the bottom of the deck, letting go. Let love, there's the King of Cups. Let love move through you today and trust the outcome will be for your highest good. And we see that the outcome's the sun. So what better outcome to get than that sun? Remind yourself all day long that you are safe, that life is happening for you, and that you're not alone. Then do some yoga. Beautiful. We have, to whom am I comparing myself right now? Maybe that's that double king energy. Is there someone that you're comparing yourself to? What you are able to see in another, this is important. What you are able to see in another is only visible because it is within you, ready to be brought out. Shine the light on the feeling of not enough and see the truth. Scorpio, what's the truth? That everything that you need and want is within you, that you are worthy of it all. It's already within you. Today, stop comparing, start creating. Beautiful. All right, lastly here, your archetype is the king, and we have double kings. We spent a lot of time focusing on, both of those kings. So I'll be curious here to see what shows up for you with the king. We have the ruler, the commander, the emperor, because all four kings are actually, bound up in the emperor. And I see here that you have the archetype of the two coming out. If our lives are imagined as a kingdom containing the entire spectrum of the human experience, the king presides over it all. Through the lens of the king, we assess the state of our land, make decisions, and rule accordingly. Therefore, the king must be thoroughly and regularly vetted so as to avoid corruption. There's that Tower. Recognize the dual nature of the king. He is either seated in benevolence and strength, guiding you towards peace, or he is oppressing the weak out of a need to control. There is not much middle ground. Some think of the king as the ultimate expression of the ego, yet the great kings of mythology and history serve from an egoless place. They take their throne with grace and humility, knowing the divine uses them as a channel to heal deep and long-standing discrepancies in the kingdom. Wow, you guys, I have goosebumps. That is the healing card, right? The healing. You are being called to step into your kingdom, to step into your, authenticity here, into your soul purpose. When this is showing up as the light aspect, it is benevolence, divine leadership, service, and nobility. When it's showing up as the shadow, it is, corruption, misuse of power, oppression. Go deeper, think of the Dalai Lama, Indra, Richard III, or Macbeth. Those are powerful, powerful kings and leaders. Once the king's relationship to divinity is broken or challenged, he often acts from a place of fear, scrambling to uphold his image and power. The king is necessary. He is a bridge between the eternal and the day-to-day. It is also said that it is necessary for the king to die. This is a death of ego. Wow. All right, that's pretty powerful. And that takes a little piece of all of these cards in your reading, all of the energy, all wrapped up in one. So that's what you're dealing with here. That's what you are being asked to see from a higher perspective. We talked about that ego with the Five of Swords, whether this be an individual that you are dealing with that is manifesting or, coming from a place of fear or control, it will cause corruption. You may see that. We may see that, collectively, globally. That may be part of that Aquarian energy that I was picking up on. It also could be something in your own kingdom, in your own personal lives, your health, your relationships, your career. And it's all about coming from that place of heart and egoless. So there's an ego death happening here. And I feel like the sun is coming out on top. So you're coming out on top here, Scorpio. Trust your path. Trust your journey. 2025 is going to be, a very eye-opening one. And for you, I do see that you have not just the capability, but you already have everything you need within you to see your vision to fruition. That's why you have a unique vision here. That is what I have for you, Scorpio. If the reading resonates, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and thank you so very much for tuning in. Lots of love.